Much easier. So we'll be installing a auto closer for the frunk for my friend Daniel's car. Bit of a quick unboxing. It's got the latch, the motor, and just a quick cable. Actually, the whole set is very simple. Quick pack of tools. That's it. The kit comes with tools already, but really all you need is a hex key, pry tools, some zip ties, and I would encourage you to have a Sharpie with you as well when you do this, and I'll explain later. The whole installation process is pretty easy, but you will need to remove everything here. This panel is just clips, so it's pretty easy. A few clips around, you literally just pull it off. And then it's 4 bolts, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts to take off this whole area. But before you do that, you will need to unplug this particular light, which again is just 1, 2, 3, 4 clips as well, and then you just unplug the cable. Very easy and straightforward. First thing, pull this off. You can use the pry tool gently. Just clips. Many clips. In case anyone's interested or wondering, this is the HEPA filter. You know that biohazard filter that you've got function on your car? This is the HEPA filter if you ever need to replace it. Then the next thing is 4 bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4. After you've loosened all the bolts, there's just 2 clips on both sides, so you also need to take out these clips before you can pull the thing out. These clips are standard push pin, so very easy. Yeah, there's only 1 clip on that side. It will seem harsh, but it's not, it's just clips. Nope. And then pull upwards, and then don't pull. I'm just gonna put this aside. This is the release button, and also the lights in the car. And then it's just clips again. Alright. Let's take a moment. So the version we have, we need to tap power into the battery behind the HEPA filter. So we need to remove this conduit first. It's just held up by 2 bolts. A bolt here, and then a bolt there. Daniel, gotta eat more veggies.
We can't all be as big and strong as you, Kelvin.
Oh, now we know. Air intake, battery, main power unit and cables, heat pump and heat exchange. So part of the installation process for a soft close frunk, you will need to remove practically everything, including the HEPA filter, and we've got the air intake here, the battery. But don't worry, that's not the main power. The main power unit, the cables actually go on that side instead. That's why make sure when you put it back together, the tab's out. Over here on this side, we've obviously removed the frunk already, and that's just the latch, and we're gonna bolt on the motor on top. So this is where the Sharpie comes in. I hope you don't mind, I'm gonna draw on your car. Whenever you install any latch or soft frunk, you want to have a Sharpie with you, and just highlight where your unit actually is and where it sits, because when you install it, this whole unit is calibrated to your boot or your front hood. So you want to know exactly where it sits, so when you install it back on, like, it aligns. So I'm just outlining where the initial unit was. Yeah, you can see. Even Tesla does. Even Tesla aligns it with a Sharpie. That's what I mean. I just drew on the side over here, outlining the actual mechanism, so I know exactly where to put it back on. So how this will work is, this will just sit on top, and these bolts will go through, original bolts. How it works with the latch, when it comes here, we'll trigger this mechanism, and then it will pull this thing. This wire will pull it into this latch. This is the motor module. That's the computer. And then these are the wires that tap in the battery later. It reminds you we're installing a Satonic version of the soft close frunk. Daniel's just taking off the bolts now. So Daniel's just bolting on the latching mechanism on top of the existing mechanism. Literally it goes like that. Now these two pieces just bolt together. You put them together and the first mechanism pulls the other in. And before you tighten the bolts, that's why we did the Sharpies before, because now what Daniel needs to do is to align the latching mechanism back to where your Sharpie, or where you actually drew before you tighten each side. Well, we'll test it before we close. The next thing we'll be doing, usually we are supposed to tie the motor on somewhere first, but we're still deciding where to put it. So we're just gonna tap these into the battery first and then test everything else while we decide what we do next. You don't want to mix the colors up, like they are color coded, red with red, black with black. The black line goes into that bolt there. Yep. So you undo this slightly so you can tap the black line in. Yep. You leave that on first, but that's the positive side. That's the side that can kill you. Then after you've done the black side, tap the orange into this, which this plastic would have clipped on. That's just the ground. So it's red line, black line. Slightly loose bolt would do. You only need a gap. Don't drop it. Make sure you have the right tools is the conclusion. Still too hard, right? Yep.
Yep, that's it.
A few moments later.
Perfect.
You only need a gap. I think that's it. Yeah. So you only need a small gap there for you to slot the tapping cable in.
So let's get the black on. Get in.
Can I say for the viewers online, I encourage you to wear gloves before you do this.
You've never been too careful when playing with electricity.
With an electric car.
Okay.
You pull this off and don't touch it.
Ready?
Don't touch the metal. It maintains contact and it won't spark. Yep, just maintain contact. Yep, perfect. Now that sinks in, technically the mechanism's on. We can really just try this.
We can try this.
And then what?
Well, that's a soft close. And then if I want to undo it.
Yeah, your phone. I'm gonna do this one more time. Soft closed, and then when you unlatch it, then naturally it'll push back up.
All right, let's put the boot down and try it.
Yep, it works. It's in.
Let's see. Let's pop it back up.
Does it open? Yes, it does. When you pull it out, do you feel like metal's hitting metal?
There is.
There's a little bit.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a catch. So what I think we can do is shift this up a little bit this way.
Yeah.
And pull it up.
Yeah.
There's that catch. Can you see it? Can you hear it? That's hitting the wrong thing. So it's hitting that now.
Because it's not open fully.
That's right.
Okay. Well, this is where testing before you're closing up everything's important. Now we will adjust the mechanism a little bit.
So why is it doing that?
Something is a bit too tight. Part of the installation process, what we've discovered is these two pieces, you can't bolt it on too tightly because otherwise there's a little bit of a plastic protector. It will add too much pressure to the actual closer, and as a result it won't go back into the right place. I can visibly see the gap there this time. Oh, is too tight already.
I feel like there's already resistance there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the bottom. It's at the lower, at the bottom part of it. So what we ended up having to jerry rig is to add 2 washers in there, as you can see, to lift the mechanism up a little bit, because there was just too much friction between this piece of metal and the plastic here, and so it wasn't closing properly. So that was just one random size step we had to do. Please do the honors.
No catch. Yep.
Yeah.
That's just fully open now.
Great. So we've just secured the motor onto this beam here with 2 zip ties. Now, they do suggest you to bolt the entire mechanism using one of these structural bolts. They've got the same bolt on this side. But one, it's a very tight bolt, and 2, we didn't want to do it because it is the structural bolt where it holds, I guess, this piece of metal onto the frame, and we didn't really want to mess around with it. So in the end, we decided to use 2 zip ties instead. I have seen people using just double-sided tape to stick this onto this beam directly as well, and that works as well. But yeah, that's what we've done. And the next thing we need to do is to cable manage. We'll probably tie the cable into some of these holes. So we did a bit of quick cable management, routing the cable around, I guess, the entire bay before it hits the battery area. And we've tested everything, so the next step is just putting everything back together. You see that?
There's a
cross?
There's a
Yeah.
hook.
There's a hook. It will fit right.
Hooks right in.
Push down. Just need to create some suction onto the vent. Yep, so see now it sucks in.
Yep.
Now you can touch it.
Happy.
Before you drop it in, give it an extra hand. You can catch this.
Clips. These ones.
Where's the cable? I'm just gonna do this first. Clip the light back in. Four bolts. And there's a clip that goes into that corner as well. Clips. They usually align itself. If it looks out, it's because your clipper is not on yet properly. See? Yep. Perfect. To be honest, that's great already, because otherwise you'll be pushing it down, right?
Yep.
The next time what you should do is to do a carrot test. Put a piece of carrot there to see if you ever cut on your carrot. Well, it says it's got anti-finger clipping, and the instruction says don't try it. Well done, that's a night's work.
Thank you.
Well, that's it. Much easier.
Walk away.
Yep.